Okay, so this is day 49 of my weight loss journey, during which I managed to reverse my prediabetes. And I'm going to see my endocrinologist tomorrow and find out what my A1C is because he never believes me. It's so funny. I tell him that I'm eating well, and he always used to say, then how come that's not reflected in any weight loss? He's kind of hard on me, but he means well. I've been talking about how stubborn my weight loss is, and it is. I mean, it's like it used to be so depressing because I mentioned other videos. I went to the gym for a year, like at least 3 times a week, and I worked out pretty hard. I worked out for an hour, like so hard I couldn't talk because I have asthma. I wasn't really breaking a sweat because, I'm not very cardiovascularly fit because I'm was 100 pounds overweight at the time and I have asthma. But that's, you got to start somewhere, and that was working out hard for me. And I kept telling him, and he just didn't believe me. He would just, raise an eyebrow and be like, "Well, I'm sure it was hard for you." But I've said it's never a waste. Eventually, even though I had no weight loss, how depressing is that? How discouraging is that? I had no weight loss. My cholesterol came down a little bit. My blood pressure came down surprisingly, as my asthma improved. I mean, it really did. So I will tell all of you, no matter what the scale says, don't ever give up doing healthy things for yourself. You will never regret it. Something is going to happen. And finally, when my blood pressure started coming down and my cholesterol started coming down a little, then he finally said, "Well, I guess you're doing something." And then I said, "Well, I'm glad you finally believe me, but why aren't I having weight loss? I mean, that's a lot of hard work." And he said that as you get healthier and your blood sugar stabilizes and your hormones stabilize, that sometimes that has to happen first before the weight loss happens. So he told me not to stop. I didn't stop on purpose. The gallbladder surgery happened and I was off 6 weeks for that. And then I was having digestive issues, which I'm not going to get into. Anyone that's had their gallbladder removed can relate to that. So I wasn't feeling well. And then, boom, I went for a mammogram and they found a lump. Thank goodness it wasn't cancerous. I had to have that removed. So then I was out another 6 weeks with that. And then I finally had my shoulder surgery, which is the only surgery I was expecting. Then I had that. And I'm still on restrictions from that. So he said by April I should be able to go back. I see him at the end of March, and he's going to tell me how my shoulder's doing, if I'm ready to go back to the gym. And I told him I want to go back. So he wrote in my physical therapy orders that part of my therapy at the end, at the tail end, is to transition me to the gym, which exercises I can do, at what weights, etc. I'm feeling better today, as you can see. I got my hair cut like a week ago, and the guy that cut my hair gave me some recommendations for some hair products. I don't think the ones I was using were that good because I'll be honest, it's not easy to talk about, but as I've gotten older, my hair's gotten thinner and then the 3 surgeries. So he gave me some recommendations. It seems to be working good. I was finally well enough to get up and get dressed properly and drive and go get some stuff. And I like it. I think my hair looks better. I'm hoping it will come back fuller once I recover from surgery. He did notice that, and he said, "Did you have a change in medication? Because your hair is a little thin." That was embarrassing. But when I told him about the surgery, he said, "Yeah, that explains, especially three. I've had 3 surgeries in 6 months." I mean, I don't want to keep saying that like I'm, feeling sorry for myself, but that was a big change. And I guess that's what precipitated this big push to do this sugar and gluten-free thing. I'm tired of being sick. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of being depressed. I'm tired of all the weight making my joints hurt and causing so many problems. So I finally decided, this is it. I'm 52 years old. How many more years am I going to spend being overweight and miserable, depressed, tired, in pain, my joints breaking down. I mean, I don't want to recover from a shoulder surgery and go right into a knee replacement, which I was told that I needed. And that's ironic. I went to another doctor because I didn't think I did. I had a fall and my knee was just hurting so bad, like forever. It just didn't get better. And so he said it's because I had really bad arthritis and I needed a knee replacement. So I just thought I'd get a second opinion because I'm like, well, my knee didn't hurt that bad before. How do you go from not that much pain to this little fall and then all of a sudden this major surgery? And he said that it's just the weight of my extra weight over the years was straining the joint. And he told me to go to the gym and walk in the water, just walk back and forth. And he said it would take 3 months, but it would get better. And it did. And that's why I'm sharing that, because knee pain goes along with being overweight for so many people. And I saw this top knee specialist at the Cleveland Clinic. I'm very fortunate that I live in an area, it's quite a drive, but it's worth it that I have access to that. Because he explained to me when you're walking in the water, you're exercising and strengthening the joint, but you're not putting extra stress on it. The water, walking in the water doesn't stress it. It takes a lot of the weight off. The weight of the water around your knee kind of presses out a little extra fluid. The coldness of the water helps the inflammation, and it worked. I mean, my knee doesn't hurt at all anymore. I mean, I know that I have to keep going to the gym and lose weight because it's not going to be there forever. I mean, I already have some arthritis in the knee. So the fact that it doesn't hurt doesn't mean I don't have arthritis anymore. It just means that I've strengthened it with the exercises at the gym. And I've got to get back as soon as I can. I know I have a shoulder injury, and I asked him about that. I said, well, can I go to the gym and swim or walk? And he said, I want you to hold off because he doesn't want me to do too much or fall or injure myself. And I can kind of see that because I'm still not allowed to put weight, on my shoulder. And I can see how, hoisting myself up in the water and all that could strain my shoulder. So 6 more weeks and I'll be back to the gym. So it feels great to feel better and be over that cold. I have read that sugar suppresses the immune system, and that might be true because I kind of bounced back from that cold pretty quickly. It didn't seem like I did, but remember, I have asthma. So when you have asthma, like every upper respiratory thing that goes around, you get it, and you usually get it bad. I can't tell you how many times, like a simple cold, warps into bronchitis, and then I have pneumonia, and then I'm out for like 2 months. This happens so many times. And I'm really happy that it didn't do this time. I mean, I was pretty sick for a couple of days, and it just kept getting better and better. And now I'm okay. In a week, used to have cold for like 10 days. Now, in a week, less than a week, I started being sick like Friday, and it's Thursday, and I was okay. So I was sick from like Friday to Wednesday. So I'm already getting so many benefits from the sugar and gluten free. I really am. My joints hurt less. My knee hurts when I like overdo it, like a bunch of steps. That hasn't happened as much. So I'm doing pretty good. And I got some more good news. I went to the dentist today for a cleaning and checkup, and I don't have any cavities. And he said my teeth look great, my gums look great. This is like the best report I've ever gotten because I had to admit to him that I haven't been flossing because of my shoulder. Just can't lift it in that position to floss. I said, I it was hard, but I flossed to be considerate before I came in here. But I haven't been flossing for 2 months because of my shoulder surgery. And they were like, uh-oh, and they said, wow, your gums look great, your teeth look great. Um, you must be doing something right. So I said, well, I cut out sugar and that must be helping. No sugar or gluten. So My teeth are in great shape. My gums are in great shape. And I'm not advocating not flossing if you cut out sugar. This is a temporary thing. So, and going to the dentist for my checkup is a new thing for me because I've said in other videos what depression does to you when you're overweight. Is you just go into survival mode. I was just so depressed. I mean, just doing the basic. I mean, I didn't go for checkups and things, but um, I just decided like a year ago, I think it's turning 50 that kind of turn that around because when you turn 50, you can't take your health for granted anymore. I mean, your time is up. That's kind of how I felt when I was in my 20s and 30s and even 40s. That's a disgrace, but it's the truth. Even 40s, like it's kind of lackadaisical about, yeah, I should lose weight and I will, and I'm working on it. And yeah, I know I should exercise and I try to stay active, which meant I would go to the park and walk around for at a very leisurely pace for 10 to 15 minutes. But when I hit 50, I just felt like, time's up. This is yesterday's tomorrow. This is the someday that I was talking about in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I just started working on changing. So I'm 52. So I was 50. I tried to kind of tighten up my diet a little bit. And then from 51 to 52, I started going to the gym much more regularly. And a few months after I turned 52, my surgery started. So I'm going to be 53 in April. So that'll be great. That'll be a great time to get back to the gym and start the next chapter in my life, the 53rd chapter. Okay, that's enough talking for today. I want to show what I ate. And I didn't do too badly today. I mean, especially considering that I went to the dentist because when I have to go out and do things, it's so easy to stop because you're rushing around, at least for me. I mean, I don't think I'm the only one. I'll be rushing around, I'll be hungry, and it's so easy to stop and eat something. But I didn't do that because I knew if I stopped to eat, I would be kind of hungry and it'd be difficult. So what I did was I showed that spinach egg drop soup I had yesterday, and I said I had half of it. I had the other half this morning, and I did that on purpose. I tried to make breakfast this morning really simple. So what's in that bowl? I had half of that this morning. And for those of you that didn't see the video yesterday, I'll just recap it real quick. You just 2 cups of chicken broth boiling, and then you scramble 2 eggs, and then you slowly drizzle it in the boiling water, stirring with a fork, and it makes like these lacy egg noodle type of things that don't have any gluten. And then I personally like to do it this way. Everyone cooks their spinach different. I take a big handful of organic baby spinach, chop it up, and then I turn off, you got to turn off the boiling water as soon as the eggs are cooked because they're like get all curdly and mushy if you don't. So as soon as you finish drizzling the eggs, they cook immediately in the boiling water. Turn it off. And then I drop the spinach in there, and the boiling water's hot enough to just make it wilt and get soft, but not to make it all yucky green and mushy. It's still like all bright and fresh and healthy looking. So I had half of that bowl of soup. And then I went to the dentist and got my good report. I'm really happy about that because I was dreading what they were going to say because I haven't been flossing. And I was surprised also that he could see a difference in like, it seemed like he could because I've been going every 6 months for like a year and a half. And he said, wow, everything looks great. He's never that enthusiastic about my teeth and gums. And he did ask me what I was doing differently. He said, everything looks great. Your gums are in great shape, no cavities. Yay. I was really happy. So then I came home and I had the other half of the green beans from yesterday. And I had some mangoes with that. And I had a really nice dinner waiting for me. That made it easy too. So in the plate in the bottom, and I cooked everything from scratch. on the plate on the bottom. That's the green beans, half from yesterday, some mangoes. The dark thing at the top is the fish that is grilled in a George Foreman grill with the Old Bay blackened seasoning. And then the sweet potato on the bottom. And for the last time, those are not marshmallows. Those white things on top, I don't eat marshmallows anymore. That is goat cheese. And it's delicious on mashed sweet potatoes with sage. It was very good. And then at the top, that little dark triangle is the peanut butter cake that I made in the microwave with no sugar and no gluten. I used a mix of peanut butter flour and a gluten-free flour mix from Trader Joe, and that was stevia. And then my glass of water, and next to that is a little carton of French fries that I got at a local place because I kind of wanted a nice dinner. And again, what I've learned in these almost 2 months of this journey is you can't deprive yourself because it will not be sustainable. One day you'll just get tired of it. You're going to be like, you know what? I never can eat this stuff again. The only absolutes in my plan are no sugar and no gluten. Everything else is in strict moderation if it's high calorie. So I got one order of fries and I split it with my daughter. So I didn't have that many. And it was just a little treat because everything else on my plate was homemade. So I thought that was a nice treat. And then I was kind of thirsty after that. And I decided that, some milk would go good with the cake. I'm trying to wean myself off dairy. It's hard. If I really want to eat some cheese or cream cheese or butter or something, I will. But I'm trying to slowly get away from that. But I'm not allergic, so that's why it's not absolute. So I got some coconut milk. That's unsweetened. Let's see if you can see it. It's so tiny. But that's unsweetened. And then I had the Diet Cherry Pepsi. It doesn't have NutraSweet. Now it has Splenda. But I just had a little treat today. I have to admit that that coconut milk from Trader Joe's is not my favorite. I finished it because I'm frugal. This is a frugaliciously living channel, and unless something is bad for me, I don't throw it away. I really try to make it work. It was hard because it wasn't that good. But the Silk unsweetened coconut milk is good. So I will not buy the Trader Joe. Everything else from Trader Joe I love, as those of you who watch my videos know, but they can't always be the best. There's too many products there. I mean, they can't just, beat every product in every single category. That's unrealistic. So they're going to have some hits and they're going to have some misses. This is a miss. But the Silk unsweetened coconut milk is very good. It's excellent. So that was my dinner. It's a little bit much. It's a little heavy, but I had done a lot of stuff today because after the dentist, I went to the store and I went to get some medication for my mom at the drugstore. I did a lot of running around and I kind of wanted to treat myself. So the old me would have treated myself by making myself sicker. How dumb was that? I would have considered a treat being something junky. Oh, I'm going to treat myself for my good report at the dentist. What I was really saying was, you know what? I got some good news, so now I'm going to mess my teeth up. Dumb. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Just don't understand. I guess it's that addiction to sugar that was driving me. No common sense. But now I treated myself with the French fries. It's fattening, so very rarely do I eat that. And not that I want to gross anyone out, but I paid for it. It made me sick because I don't have a gallbladder anymore. I'll spare everyone the details. And then I was kind of hungry still for something more, so I had these sugar-free gummy bears. Hopefully you could see where it says sugar-free. Little white letters above the gummy. There, see it says sugar-free gummy bears. And I counted out exactly one serving. I'm very strict about stuff like that because I don't want to go too far eating in the other direction. And then I ate so much for my main meal of the day, which is really lunch, that for dinner, all I had was a little bag of almonds and water. That's all I was hungry for. So that's how today went. Tomorrow's going to be difficult because I have to drive to the Cleveland Clinic. My daughter has an appointment, and that's quite a drive. And I hope my shoulder can make it. It's going to be a painful drive, and I'm going to be there pretty much all day, probably. So I'm going to go prepared. I'm going to take probably an apple and another bag of almonds and some bottles of water. And I might, depending how hungry I am, I might stop to eat on the way home. There's a Mexican restaurant on the way home that's really good and very inexpensive. So I might do that, but I might make it home. So we'll see. So I hope all of you had a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.